Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we examine how the US has landed itself in big trouble as the country is set to run out of money by 2021. US Treasury Secretary recently warned that if the debt limit isn't looked into and suspended, the government is expected to run out of money by 2021. Just a few hours after the Republican senators disallowed the increase of the debt ceiling, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen told lawmakers that the U.S. government under President Biden will run out of cash by 2021. America's biggest bank, JPMorgan Chase, is already preparing for a big disaster in financial markets if lawmakers won't agree to print more money to sort the nation's mortgage with itself. Every single time this comes up, it gets fixed, but we should never even get this close, JPMorgan stated. I just think this whole thing is mistaken and one day we should just have a bipartisan bill and get rid of the debt ceiling. It's all politics. He continued. The issue is that the debt cap is being attained just as Congress is stuck in negotiations over President Joe Biden's massive social and economic agenda. Lawmakers are concerned over the new spending, but an inability to act before October to enable the U.S. to keep borrowing funds to cover the money that's been spent could send the whole world economy in trouble. One might be curious to know what this debt ceiling is all about. Let's take a quick explanation. What is the debt ceiling? The debt ceiling is precisely how it sounds like, the peak or maximal amount that the federal government is allowed to borrow. Well, one would ask, why is there a limit or maximum? The reason is that Congress fixed one more than a century ago to terminate the government's unhealthy borrowing habit. But instead of complying with it, Congress has stepped out and raising the limit every moment it's been hit. Outstanding public debt is increasing and presently about $28.7 trillion. That's a huge amount to choke down, and it's becoming bigger every second. Most progressive Democrats in the House are criticizing moderates in the Senate who refuse to buy into the larger bill. Republicans have not given the encouragement needed to pass the bipartisan bill. Republicans have never embraced increasing the debt limit, even when they dominated the Senate. When the debt ceiling was lifted in the year 2019, all except 28 senators endorsed the move. The majority of the no votes, 23 of them, were Republicans. The United States has been in debt for a long time. When the United States was founded, it was already in serious debt, over $75 million, as it made attempt to pay off Revolutionary War debt, reported by the Treasury Department. President Andrew Jackson ruled out U.S. debt for the only time, but he enabled this by blowing up the U.S. banking system. The U.S. national debt has shrunk and grown periodically through several wars and, increasingly, as the U.S. has done more to protect and sustain its citizens through various social welfare programs while at the same time cutting taxes. Yellen argued in a statement with Wall Street Journal that a default would weaken the U.S. It is uncertain whether we could continue to meet all the nation's commitments after that date, Yellen stated. Furthermore, Yellen pointed that the date is only an estimation based on tax payments, and that date could alter as the government's cash flows are subject to unavoidable variability. This justifies the risk of the cash running out sooner than expected, which would result in an unavoidable debt default. This debt default would be calamitous for the U.S. economy, leading to stagnation of various markets, and large payment delays in all American public services. It is important to remember that estimates regarding how long our remaining extraordinary measures and cash may last can unpredictably shift forward or backwards, Yellen added. She continued her statement saying, and in a quote, "This uncertainty underscores the critical importance of not waiting to raise or suspend the debt limit. The full faith and credit of the United States should put at risk. However, resolving this challenge before the money runs out is a tough one, as most House Republican leaders are advising senators to avoid any debt suspension or debt raise. The main reason for opposing the voting is that it will create larger debt, and just make it easy for the government to spend extra money." After this crucial issue concerning federal government officials, American citizens, who have been continually asking with no success both Biden and Trump administrations for more help throughout the pandemic, have decided to take the situation with humor, making jokes on social media. It is uncertain whether we could continue to meet all the nation's commitments after that date, Yellen stated in a letter, adding that the projection is settled on estimated tax payments. Previously, the Treasury Department predicted how it would run out of money, and accounting maneuvers some days ago. Yellen noted how the government's daily gross cash flow, not including financing, averaged close to $50 billion per day over the last year, and has even exceeded $300 billion. It is important to remember that estimates regarding how long our remaining extraordinary measures and cash may last can unpredictably shift forward or backwards, Yellen stated. This uncertainty underscores the critical importance of not waiting to raise or suspend the debt limit. The full faith and credit of the United States should put at risk. But this is also a vital deal because the U.S. is expected to be a risk-free investment. U.S. debt is the benchmark for the entire world, said Mr. Mark Zandi, who is currently the chief economist for Moody's Analytics. The entire world has trust in the U.S. because they receive principal and interest on time. They feel like this debt is risk-free. It's the benchmark for the entire world. If that confidence is shaken, if they don't get paid on time even briefly, that means they're going to demand a much higher interest rate to compensate for that risk. Zandi stated. If the faith is shaken, then there would be a domino effect, Zandi said. Not just Republicans, most citizens have never liked raising the debt limit. President Biden administration might just be doing more harm than good in decision-making policy implementation. Let us hope for the best for the United States. Thank you for watching and engaging. Do ensure you drop comments as well. Bye.